They say a man discovers what he's made of when the world turns its back. But the truth is, when the walls are closing in, when the light is fading, when the wind is screaming in your face and no one is answering your calls, that's not the moment you're tested. That's the moment you are revealed. It is easy to be calm when you are surrounded by comfort. It is easy to speak of patience when you are fed. But when your hunger roars louder than your hope, when your hands shake from the weight of trying again and again and again, that's when the veil of false identity is torn away. That's when you meet the one person who has been waiting to be born from your suffering, you. Unapologetic, unbreakable, unstoppable. History doesn't remember the ones who had everything handed to them. It remembers the ones who rose from the fire when everything was against them. Lincoln had no proper schooling, born into poverty, buried in grief. Edison failed 10,000 times before the world saw his light. Ford went bankrupt twice. Disney was fired for a lack of imagination. But none of them bowed to circumstance. None of them waited for perfect weather to set sail. They created the current. You want to win when everything is against you. Then stop asking for ease. Start demanding greatness from yourself, because your enemy isn't your lack of support. It's not the bills. It's not the critics. It's not even the heartbreak. Your real enemy is the whisper in your mind that says, "This is too much." That voice, that soft, venomous voice, is the thief of every dream you've ever buried, and you must silence it with action. The first weapon you need is mindset, but not the shallow kind sold in Instagram quotes. I'm talking about the mindset forged in the furnace of hardship. The kind that doesn't flinch at rejection. The kind that walks into the storm and says, "Let it rain harder, ba." Confucius said, "The gem cannot be polished without friction." And you cannot be strengthened without adversity. So, why do you see setbacks as curses instead of catalysts? You were not born to be pampered into power. You were born to dig into the dirt, to be buried by failure so you could claw your way up. Calloused, bloodied, and unrecognizably stronger. A warrior does not curse the battle. He becomes it. You must learn to welcome pressure. It is pressure that forms diamonds. It is resistance that grows the muscle. You must train your mind to see every obstacle as fuel. Turn every no into momentum. Let every door that closes redirect you to the one you will build yourself. You do not need easy. You need clarity. And clarity begins with belief, not in the world, not in systems, not in guarantees, but in you. What do you believe about yourself when no one's watching? When there's no applause, no followers, no paycheck. If your belief dies in silence, you never believed at all. When Carnegie built an empire, it wasn't because he had an inheritance. It was because he had an inner world that could not be broken by the noise of the outer one. He believed in his direction, even when the road didn't yet exist. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You need to believe in you enough to keep going long after they stop clapping. Belief is not positive thinking. It is not chanting affirmations in a mirror and hoping something changes. Belief is behavior. It is what you do when doubt is heavy, when proof is lacking, when progress is invisible. That is where real belief shows its face. And here's the truth most won't tell you. The world will only start believing in you after you've earned the right to believe in yourself. That is the brutal price of greatness. You must walk blind before the world opens its eyes. You want to win when everything is against you. Then you must carry belief like a weapon, even when it's rusted, even when it trembles in your hands. Because belief is not supposed to be perfect. It's supposed to be yours. Now bring that belief into vision, real vision, not a wish list, not a dream board. A vision so clear it burns into your retinas when you close your eyes. Winners see what they are building long before it exists, and they work like hell until reality catches up to the clarity in their mind. You have to stop asking for signs and start becoming one. You have to stop begging the world for direction and start commanding your future into focus. Disney didn't just imagine theme parks. He saw them so vividly, he drew them on napkins and walked investors through castles that didn't yet stand. When others saw vacant land, he saw magic. When others saw bankruptcy, he saw legacy. That is vision, and it cannot be taught. It must be chosen. What do you see when you look at your life? Not with your eyes, but with your conviction. Vision is not what you describe. It's what you build with your sweat and sleepless nights. It's the structure of your pain turned into purpose. Because when the odds are against you, your clarity must be stronger than your circumstances. The world will try to confuse you. Life will throw chaos at your doorstep. But if your vision is rooted in purpose, not comfort, you will not be moved. Purpose. This is where most men fall and stay down. Because without it, you're just a leaf in the wind, blown by fear, insecurity, opinion. But a man with purpose, he is the storm. Purpose is the reason you rise at dawn when no one would blame you for sleeping. Purpose is what keeps your fists clenched when life tries to pull you apart. Purpose doesn't come from pleasure. It comes from pain and the decision to turn that pain into meaning. The greats were not driven by money. They were possessed by a reason to exist. Confucius believed that the superior man is modest in his speech but exceeds in his actions. That is purposes. A quiet thunder in your chest that says, I must, I will, and when you move with purpose, life bends. Eventually. Not quickly, not conveniently, but inevitably. Because a man aligned with purpose cannot be bought, cannot be broken, and cannot be ignored forever. But purpose without discipline is a roaring fire with no direction. It blazes and burns out just as fast. Discipline is the spine of everything you build, the scaffolding of your future. Without it, your dreams become dust in the wind. Do not misunderstand, discipline is not about punishment. It's not about perfection. It's about doing what needs to be done, especially when you don't feel like it. Success isn't born in moments of inspiration. It's carved from hours of boredom, of repetition, of lonely effort. Muhammad Ali said, I hated every minute of training, but I said, don't quit. Suffer now and live the rest of your life as a champion. Ali didn't train because he loved it. He trained because he had to. Because his mission was louder than his excuses. You cannot afford to live according to your feelings. You must live by your decisions, by your commitments, by the person you said you would become. If you only move when it feels good, you will drown in mediocrity. Discipline is choosing your future over your impulses. You want to win when everything is against you? Then you must train your spirit to obey your vision. You must stand up every single day and build, even when the applause is gone, when the lights are out, when all you have left is your two hands and your relentless will. This is not about hustle culture. This is about ownership, taking complete command of your day, your time, your focus. Because no one is coming to rescue you. No miracle is arriving on your doorstep. You are the author. You are the warrior. You are the hammer and the stone. And what follows discipline is action, massive, fearless, imperfect action. You cannot think your way into success. You cannot meditate your way into momentum. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you're meant to be. There are two kinds of people in this world, those who wait for permission and those who move, those who hesitate and those who act. You think you're not ready. No one ever is. Edison didn't wait until he was certain. He tried, and he failed, and tried again, and failed again, and tried until the world changed. If you're waiting to feel ready, you'll still be waiting when the clock runs out. The world rewards movement. Movement creates luck. Movement stirs energy. It wakes up something in you that stagnation will bury alive. Success isn't always about talent. It's about momentum. It's about outlasting the ones who gave up too soon. When the odds are stacked against you, act anyway. Let them call you reckless. Let them call you obsessed. You are not here to be understood by the timid. You are here to bend reality to your will through the force of your persistence. Action turns fear into fuel. Every step forward, no matter how small, is a declaration that you are not done. But action without gratitude becomes bitterness in disguise. And this is where the heart must rise. Gratitude is not weakness. It is not passive. It is the strength to find power in every moment, no matter how broken. You must learn to bless the burden, to thank the challenge, to honor the pain, not because you love it, but because it's making you invincible. Gratitude is what keeps your soul grounded while your mind reaches for the stars. You want to win when everything is against you. Then do not curse the struggle. Thank it, because it is chiseling away everything you are not, revealing everything you are meant to be. You were not abandoned. You were being forged. Every tear is a teacher. Every setback, a sacred scar. And if you carry gratitude like armor, there is no defeat that can enter you. It is easy to be grateful when the sun is shining, but you must learn to give thanks even in the storm, because gratitude turns chaos into clarity. It reminds you that you are still here, still breathing, still fighting, still standing. And if you are still standing, you are not finished. Still, life is never still. It moves, it changes, and so must you. The ones who survive are not the strongest. They are the most adaptable. Adaptability is the art of bending without breaking, of shifting without losing your core. The river does not fight the rock. It moves around it. It flows until the obstacle becomes irrelevant. You cannot control the economy. You cannot control betrayal. You cannot control the weather of life, but you can control your response. Adaptability is not surrender. It is strategy. It is resilience in motion. Think of Lincoln. Every time he was pushed down, he adjusted. Every loss, every rejection, every death. He absorbed it into his soul and let it refine him, not define him. You don't need perfect conditions. You need creative determination. You need to be flexible in how you get there, but unshakable in why you're going. When everything is against you, you must pivot without panic. You must redesign your route without questioning your worth, because greatness belongs to those who can lose everything but never lose themselves. And in the end, all of this The mindset, the belief, the vision, the purpose, the discipline, the action, the gratitude, the adaptability. It only matters if you endure. Resilience is the soul's refusal to die quietly. When they mock you, endure. When you fail in public, endure. When the silence is louder than applause, endure. You are not here to sprint. You are here to last, to remain standing after everyone else sits down. You are not here to make noise. You are here to echo. So breathe deep. Dig in. Plant your feet in the storm and say, "You will not move me." Because life doesn't give crowns to the gifted. It gives them to the relentless. There will come a moment in your life, maybe it's now, when the noise dies down, when the crowd is gone, when the door is closed and all that's left is you. Your breath, your heartbeat, your doubt, your dream. And in that moment, you will be faced with a decision that no one else can make. Do you rise or do you retreat? Do you hold the line or do you collapse under the weight of what feels impossible? That is not a small question. That is the question. The one every hero, every builder, every leader, every legend has had to answer. The one whispered in the darkness when all plans fail and nothing makes sense anymore. And your answer will shape the rest of your life. Understand this, no storm is eternal, but the soul you forge inside of it will last forever. You were not born to be average. You were not born to survive. You were born to rebuild kingdoms out of ashes, to plant seeds in soil others swore was dead, to rise from wounds so deep they called them fatal, and walk again like nothing could ever stop you, because they forgot something. They forgot that the greatest force in the universe is a human being who refuses to stay broken. Look around. The odds, they're real. The pain, it's real. But so is your will. So is your vision. So is that ancient fire in your chest that will not die, no matter how cold the world becomes. You don't need the world to believe in you. You need to believe in you, even if it's with trembling hands and tired bones. Especially then, that is when it matters most, because true victory is not when you win with everything lined up in your favor. It's when you win with nothing, when you create light in the dark, when you become the miracle no one saw coming. That's what history remembers. That's what legacy is made of. Not comfort, not applause, but refusal. Refusal to bow, refusal to quit, refusal to die with your music still in you. So when everything is against you, and it will be, stand anyway. Stand with cracked voice and bleeding hands. Stand with nothing left but a whisper and a pulse. And then take one more step, and another, until the weight on your shoulders becomes the wings on your back, until you look around one day and realize you didn't just survive, you transcended, because when everything was against you, you chose to become more. More than your fear, more than your past, more than your pain, more than they said you'd be. You chose to win, and now you walk forward, not as a victim, not as a survivor, but as a force, unshackable, unstoppable, unbreakable, because you've learned something the world could never teach you. You are the storm they never saw coming, and no matter how loud the odds scream, you are louder.